Hola familia, my name is Matthew Espeleta and I'm running to be your next Vice President Internal. My story at SHPE started at the 2019 Cougar Carnival where an introverted Matthew peeked over at the SHPE booth but was too shy to approach it. Then and there, one of the executive board members at the time approached me, introduced themselves, asking my name, my major, and reeled me into SHPE, convincing me to sign up for the newsletter. From that moment on, I became involved in SHPE. I've been a part of 3 committees, and currently am your spring semester social chair. Throughout my time here, I've seen that there are still areas of improvement. My first goal as VPI is to improve the transparency between leadership and our members. Something that I've seen is that our website hasn't really changed from the 3 years I've been here. So I want to work with the communications director as well as the secretary to revamp it and show information about past member internships as well as scholarships that we offer, and let that information be available throughout the year. My second goal is to act as a liaison within leadership. Currently, the executive board focuses more on behind the scenes and chairs focus on events, but I want to kind of bridge the gap and let the entire leadership team kind of speak on ideas that can affect the entire chapter. And lastly, I want to focus on inclusion. I've seen it as a member, I've seen it as a chair, where a few members of the leadership team are actually being inclusive of other members at events, and I've seen other people at events spend 2 hours only talking to their friend group. So I want to make it as a responsibility of every single leadership member to be inclusive of everyone. And if you want our familia to be more inclusive, vote for me, Matthew Espeleta for VPI.
Okay, Matthew, great speech. Loved your energy as well. So here's my question. As VPI, one of your major responsibilities is the composition and delivery of the NCP. This report is meant to summarize the quantitative and qualitative effects of the efforts of your team, your chapter, as it pertains to the 5 pillars of SHPE. Out of these 5 areas, which one do you believe needs the most improvement for SHPE-UH, and how would you measure this success?
So I think our 2 strongest pillars are definitely professional and academic, and I think the one that definitely needs more work is outreach. Outreach doesn't have a lot of volunteers, and they're kind of left behind compared to the other pillars. So something that we could do as leadership is maybe incentivize a scholarship, right? So something that we've done currently is increase the amount of points that people get for going to outreach events, but that's still enough. There's still not a lot of volunteers. So maybe implementing a scholarship for the most active outreach member and to kind of increase that.
Thank you.
Matthew, I greatly enjoyed your speech as well. You mentioned that you do have 2 priorities for the pillars. As a VPI, you're always going to be taking a back seat during events and kind of observing and being the analyst of how you could turn what happened in the event into words that someone later on in our in nationals can read it and can feel like they were there and they saw the impact. From your SHPE experience, can you name one event that you thought it was a great event, and can you mention how it impacted members in a quantitative way?
I'm the social chair this past semester, and I haven't had too many opportunities just because a lot of the days are already booked, right? I came kind of late into the semester, kind of late into the semester as the social chair. So the only event I've been able to do right now is a date auction, but something that I did and kind of analyzed was that a lot of people weren't signing up. So what I did is I went to SRTs, I went to Manchester Mingles, and went to every single member and told them, hey, date auction's happening this Friday, date auction's happening this Friday, sign up, sign up. So that's something that, I took a step back, did what I could with the communications director to market it, but when I saw that a lot of people weren't signing up, I took that step to go out to these events and speak to each of our members.
Quick follow-up. Date auction is good, right? It brings money into the chapter so that we can later host more events. But aside from bringing in money, what would be another impact that we have to our members during the date auction?
Date auction? The data auction also kind of serves as a way for people to get out of their comfort zone. I'm not the most extroverted person, and I'm somehow the social chair, right? So, and that's also where I kind of stepped out of my boundaries. Like, I didn't really want to go up on stage, but I was kind of, forced almost to go up there. But a lot of other members also didn't really want to do it, but going to SRTs and going to mentorship bingo and kind of telling them, hey, it's data auctions for a great cause. We're raising money for scholarships. That kind of helps people to get out there. Right?
Thank you.
Hello, Matthew. I congratulate you stepping up to the stage and running for VPI. Nice seeing that. As you mentioned during your speech, you want to see kind of bridge the gap between e-board and chairs on how events are ran. It gets kind of hard having too many people kind of coordinate one event, and that's why we've established these chairs throughout the year. And from what I've heard and from what I experienced during my years, e-board is time is a very big issue because you're balancing academics and then also SHPE, which kind of turns into a full-time job if you run for e-board or chair. Do you feel comfortable with, it looks like you're going to be taking a full course load this next semester, and then also taking out that responsibility of becoming an e-board and then also a VPI, which is works very closely to the president of carrying out your position to the fullest potential?
Yes, to kind of address what I talked about, kind of acting as a liaison, two things that I want to do is allow everyone, or throughout the summer, have those e-board and chair meetings, right? To kind of let everyone speak their mind and speak on their ideas, right? I know that I have a page of ideas, and I know that people that spoke before me and will speak after me also have a bunch of ideas. But something that we don't really realize is that there's only one academic year, and there's things that already need to be done. General meetings, we need to prepare our members for career fair, national convention. So by allowing everyone to kind of speak on their ideas, then we can prioritize everyone's goals, right? And kind of make sure that they're tangible, right? And from there, come up with a mission statement, right? I understand that SHPE in itself has a mission statement, but coming up with a mission statement that allows the entire leadership to kind of have their input in it, and then using that mission statement as a guide throughout the entire year. So I will be taking 15 credits, and I understand the responsibilities with the NPO, with the NRP, communicating with chairs to book the rooms, right? And I think by taking those steps and kind of using that mission statement throughout the year as a guide, can definitely help me and help other people kind of stay on track and make sure that we're not getting distracted if there's any drama or tension, or if anything happens.
Right. Thank you.
Matthew, I have a question for you. So really good points that you described, that you filled out here on the sheet. Yeah, like Javi was saying, I see that you're going to be taking 15 credit hours next semester. And VPI, yes, you're working very closely with the president. You're the right hand, pretty much. I know, I'm looking at your GPA right now. I know it's a little concerning. Me personally, I've met people where they've had something life-related happen, GPA dropped, they joined SHPE, they got involved, and all of a sudden their GPA went up, which is a really good story. But unfortunately, there's also a side where you get more involved, something happens, school starts to fail a little bit, and then unfortunately, I've seen as well where someone is in a position like BPI or any position have to resign from that position halfway through the year. And that just, puts a little more work on the e-board to have to find an alternative in the meantime and stuff like that. So, do you feel like, in this position, do you feel like you will improve maybe your GPA in a way? Or,
So, I'm a first generation student. When I came to UH, I didn't have anyone. My parents never went to college, so I didn't have anyone to kind of guide me through it. And then during during the fall 2021 year, during the spring 2021 year and the fall 2021 year, my mom lost her job, so that was kind of concerning, trying to balance school and then also kind of worrying about how am I going to pay for college, am I going to have to take a summer job, am I even going to be able to take summer classes, right? So that's definitely a concern, but I do believe getting the VPI responsibility and knowing how passionate I am, and again, what I talked about with that mission statement and using it as a guide can definitely help me and help others kind of remember why they're here, right? And as VPI, you know, it's a time-consuming responsibility. So I'm not really gonna have time to kind of, you know, procrastinate or anything, because I'm gonna have to do schoolwork, and if I'm not doing schoolwork, I'm doing chef stuff, and if I can't balance both of them, then one of them is gonna suffer, and I don't want a chapter to fail. So,
Thank you.